It's like really hard to go on an adventure nowadays. I don't know about you, bro. My weeks look nearly identical. And I can't complain because one of the reasons I'm living it like that is the repeated attempts, the iterations, and the reiterations to make my best life work. But it does get pretty boring, I have to say. You think about an actual adventure full of chills and thrills and bad guys, you know, plot armor. Okay, just a lot of drama, plot twists, all sorts of crazy stuff happening. Wacky characters to meet. I know. I'm making it sound like some kind of video game or a story, maybe, one of your favorite stories, if you can think about something like that right now, one of your favorite shows, a sitcom, an adventurous sitcom, one of my favorite mediums of art, the cinema. Okay. On the silver screen, plenty of adventures to be had. Even the best ones, 2-3 hours max, more than 3 hours, that might just be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't know if there's any movie. Like, I don't know. Just other directors were like, we're not doing it for that long. So besides the Lord of the Rings, which is an excellent adventure, if I do say so myself, experiencing that in real life, though, okay, just the way that you are living your daily reality right now, you take a quick look. Okay, it's all good, bro. Just slow pan over everything that is around you right now. I'm sure you are intimately familiar with what a typical day in your life looks like. I don't know who you are, and I'd be like, please don't take offense, but I'm going to safely assume it is not the most adventurous experience possible. Funny enough, it this is the exact reason. There are multiple. There's honestly there's several, but one of the main reasons I ever thought to wake up one day and try and live my own best life is because of the monotonous nature, very repetitive, very. There's got to be more to life than this, and the misery that gave me, the profound suffering I had to go through, allowing myself to tolerate an existence like this day after day, week after week. Years went by like this. I say funny because little did I know it was going through that part of my life that served to create the catalyst necessary. All right, just the starting point, this origin source to propel me into trying my very best as often as I can, as hard as I can, as much as I can. And that is my objective tonight, brother. That is the deep dive for this episode on the Pillars of Man podcast. It's for me to have you believe the greatest, finest, boldest, most excellent adventure you could ever go on for the rest of your life. Okay, I'll be a little bit bolder and I will say perhaps across multiple variations of your life. This is getting kind of crazy, but all of these alternate parallel dimensions, of just a slightly different version of you, it's near infinite or something like that. Or is it actually infinite? I'm not intimately familiar with this theory. I'm just using it because you're only going to, out of all of them, out of all those yous, you're only going to be able to be you in this life. And if you want the best one possible, I say that so much, maybe a little bit too much. I'm not going to stop though. For as long as the Pillars of Man podcast is around, I will continue yapping about men living their best life. There's certain ways to go about this, I do believe. And my favorite way, the way I'm gonna give it to you, the way I highly recommend, you might already know what's coming. The the ultimate, okay, hands down, this is the very best way to live your best life. I know it sounds a little redundant right there, but I'm telling you, bro, God. It well, it is God, but it is to follow God. It is to submit yourself to your Father. I very affectionately call God Dad, because I believe He is the Father of all. And if you rock with Dad, if you just make your business, if you go all in with Dad, Dad is going to be all in for you. It's very mutual. It's beautiful, and for me to help break you into this idea. If you're with me so far, if you have not X'd me out, okay, I don't know. If I'm on Spotify, you're on your iPhone, you're like, no, I'm going back to the new J. Cole album. Freaking Fuego. The Fall Off. Oh my God. Okay, forgive me. If you still rocking with me, then my attempt, and it's been a hot minute for me, but I'm back at it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So if you're down, brother, I want to use this film right here to showcase, display, and explain, and maybe a little bit of all of it, of how a modern man, really any modern man, let's just go 18 and up. Oh, Lord, this always happens. Will work with my preferred demographic. Okay, it's like 18 to 40 years old. That's the sweet spot for me. But honestly, just 18 and up. Because if you're not 18 yet, then it's like, bro, I respect you for being here. You're of course you are welcome. All right. Any masculine spirit is all good to chill here. It's just, enjoy that time. Probably living with your parents. I don't know. Like playing after school sports and stuff like that. And what is the prom? And you know what I mean? Like, take your time, enjoy that. I'm telling you, if you're gonna take it from an old timer, you're 17 and down. Take it easy, young king. It's all good. But however, okay, 18 and up though, your experiences today as a modern male human being, going through the 21st century experience, smack dab, as we're approaching really the middle of 2026. I don't know about you, 2026 is flying for me. It's so crazy because this film right here made me realize it's not that different. The time periods, the environment, the culture, civilizations and societies, yes, these aspects of humanity will vary greatly. But the soul of a man that is crying out for more than the life he is currently living, that right there seems to unite all of us as men across time, brother, because this one goes way back. Oh, yes, tonight I'm taking you way, way back. It's a Netflix original. I'm not sure. I believe it is. Even if it's not, you need to see it. Okay, like you're a dude, brother. You need to watch this movie. It's so freaking good. It is, without further ado, The King on Netflix. Is it still on? It should be. The originals stay on for the longest, right, or something like that. I don't know, but The King. That's it, just like that, on Netflix, starring Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet? Shala. I don't know how to say this dude's last name, bro. And that's the last time I need to say it. And also Joel Edgerton. And supported by a star-studded cast. But I'm probably going to be focusing on these two gentlemen tonight. Oh wait, no, of course, there's one more. There's one more. He's kind of the bad guy. He's the French dude. He's the French dude with the killer French accent. I was like, yo, how long do you practice French for this role? Oh no, that's not good. I actually cannot remember his name right now. You're gonna have to forgive me. He's Batman. There's a lot. Oh Lord, there's a lot of Batmans. He's the most recent Batman. Okay, he was also in Twilight. He was the really sparkly, handsome vampire. Okay, that was making all the girls in my class way back in the day just incessantly talk about him. Yes, that fellow right there. All three, and a wonderful supporting cast is the leads of this film, The King, and it's all about Prince Henry, whom his friends in the movie, like Joel Edgerton, who plays John Falstaff, and so I'll be calling him John. Uh, he's probably the closest friend to Prince Henry, and he calls him Hal or Prince Hal, who becomes King Henry V, if I remember that correctly, throughout the events of this film. And it's absolutely, oh, it's a good one. It's such a good one. And so I gotta drop my usual disclaimer, brother. If you have not seen The King yet, starring Timothy Chalamet as King Henry V and Joel Edgerton as John Falstaff, you must. You absolutely must. Because I'm most likely going to be getting into a whole lot of spoilers, which I had a buddy tell me, that's just so tough when you do your episodes like this. So moving forward nowadays, I try my darn hardest to spoil as little as possible. But seriously though, see the film first, and then by all means, if you'd like to, brother, we can vibe and talk about your best life. So this is the great. Okay, it's so much. It's so much. But this one right here to begin with is one of the craziest parts of the entire film for me. This one really hit home because the movie opens, okay, right, with him living la vida loca. Like Hal is carefree, worry free, responsibility free. Nothing matters to him. He's truly going with the flow in this way. And not to say that all men would agree with his flow, but he's definitely, living it up, kind of just how do we say it nowadays, brother? We say, I'm doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like, how are you? Like what's new with you? You know what I'm saying? Like the quick deflect. If you know, you know. But Hal is just I want to say neck deep in hedonism. Okay. His daily motives are driven by nothing but pleasure. And pleasure that he can afford, that's for sure. Being the prince of the kingdom, nobody's really going to have beef with him in this way. This is medieval England, is if I'm saying that correctly. So I'm pretty sure if you were to beef with Hal, then I'm sure he probably just like, and he wasn't even like this. This is why this young king is so dope. But he could, excuse me, he really could though. You just like snap his fingers and you lose your head. Like that's it. Like you're being beheaded at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It was a spectacle. Like families would gather. Like there's a beheading tomorrow morning at what time? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yep. I'm pretty sure the kid should be able to. Like it was like everybody went, and so he definitely had the entire world on a silver platter. That's for sure. And that is actually exactly why he directly ties in to the modern male human experience. Now, if you remember how I kicked things off tonight, I had you think about exactly how you're living your life right now. Now, I don't know you. I don't know what you're doing for a living. Okay. I couldn't imagine, like your personal struggles and experiences right now. So, in order to paint this picture more clearly for you, I'm going to stick to the average. All right, bro. I'm going to stick to the typical, like what most guys are dealing with nowadays. Full transparency. Like this is me. This is also me. I'm also in this. I'm one of these guys. And so maybe it's around 40 hours a week, you know, single, right? Renting, uh, Renting solo. Okay, must be nice. What a luxury. Or many of us renting with roommates, but that can be dope too if you're cool with your roommates. I hope you are. If you have them, I mean, maybe your roommates are your family, and that for a lot of guys that is like the most uncool. It's just like we can totally like chill, like kick it, hang out, whatever, but my mom freaks out sometimes. So, it's like that kind of setup. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Families stick together in tough times. But whatever kind of living situation you are personally experience, that's probably backed by a weekly amount of time that you give to a job. And then with little time you get back, that'll probably be, sometime in the evenings and possibly weekends. If you're not a weekend off kind of guy, you're not a typical 9 to 5, I'm not either. You have a day off, every now and again, according to your schedule. When you are on your free time though, and this is one of those modern traps that we in a most strikingly visual manner, we see how living it right in front of us. Okay? Like, my man is just posted up on, you know, super fine babes. He is constantly in and out of the pub, of the brothel. It's just whatever pleasures are available at that time period for a man was available to him. And for Hal, it was an all you could eat buffet. It's just how he lived. It's where we meet him. He's not even there. He's not in the case, nowhere near the castle. We come to find out soon enough he wants nothing to do with the castle. How old is Hal when we meet him? I should have looked this up before I started this episode. I assume late teens, something like that, maybe younger, but he's you know what I'm saying, like close to finishing puberty. He's got to be like 15, 16, 17, something like that. Maybe a little bit older, probably not. I'm just going to safely assume like, you know what I'm saying, like 15, 16, 17. And that was old, right? For medieval England, wasn't the average? I'm eyeballing here, but the average lifespan for men in that time period is, you're kicking the bucket by late 30s, early 40s, something like that. And so that's seasoned in terms of life itself. Maybe that would be the equivalent to a modern man today in his how about 20s, mid late 20s was teenage Hal. Just kind of how he saw himself, how the world around him saw him as well. He's definitely okay. His activities, all right, are absolutely adult male activities, and he's having at it all the time. It's This is why I say Prince Henry, Prince Hal, before he becomes king, is hedonist. Hal. It's all his life is, and it's what drives him. It's his daily objective. He clearly, we saw, he does not do anything else. He doesn't worry about anything else. The modern trap for a man is we may not have as much time as Hal did to spend living like that. But whenever you are able to live, though, that's what I'm saying, brother. This is your own time. You're on your own clock here. Because you clocked out, but home or wherever else. This is life that really does belong to you. Oh Lord, just for me to say it like that is like some serious dystopian vibes, and I feel that. But I do my best to stick to the truth. And so, when else? When are we going to be able to do what we want as individual men? It's going to have to be on free time. And when you would choose to devote that to nothing but pleasure. you see the same effects as it has on us as it does with the prince. This did you catch it, bro? I mean, they do it in slow motion. So a brilliant shot by the director here, in my opinion, when John, his, really a, a dear friend, but also, a trusted advisor to. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. And he's got the. Isn't that what girls wear? That's like a female headdress, and he's just doing the, you know what I'm saying, the spin, the way they would, that was the style of dancing for the time period. And Hal's wearing one too, and he's watching John. I'm sure they're both freaking hammered. And here's the thing: did you notice? I mean, and this is just good acting, though, in terms of facial expression on Timothy's part, where you see the way that he smiles, bro. So I want to pause here, brother. Did you see joy? Did you see a man at peace? Did Hal seem as though he was truly in the promised land? It could never get better than this. No, for me, brother, I caught maybe one of the most haunting smiles where it's so exaggerated in the way that he's trying to enjoy what I'm going to say he probably can't anymore. Even when we meet him, because that scene of them partying in the tavern is very soon after. I assume, this is just me now with personal interpretation, but I assume Hal and John have been there countless times, years worth. This is a go-to. This is the huge. This is what they do. And by that point, that smile to me is hiding the pain of subjecting himself to experiences that only ever revolve around sensual pleasure. For meals, drink for the first head, more intimate bedroom activities for a man's second head. That's all it is. And so it's haunting to me because it seems Hal is it's like it's crazy. It's like he was laughing his way to hell right there. And that's why the modern trap, that because of how easy it is for you and I to spend all of our free time on nothing but leisure, it's inevitable. It's a guarantee. It will have the same exact effect on a man. He's hollow, bro. He's empty in here. He can't feel anything. And maybe that's a little bit more harsh because it seems as though Hal's trying to. It's like he's trying to laugh. He's trying to be like, it's a party, but when you party all the freaking time, and life is only ever a party. I believe God He imbued within you and me, bro, faculties and capacities that scream for much, much more in life than to chase after, right, pleasures and feelings and whatnot. No, I mean, it seems you and I were so fearfully and wonderfully designed to chase certain ideals. And I mean, this is born within the choice that you and I have for free will to kind of, go for what you want in life. When you kind of let yourself go in this way, if any man does, the trick of the devil is to convince a man, for as long as you continue, you know, consuming, enjoying, partaking in what feels good right now without thinking about anything else, you're going to walk yourself right in to almost a self-created hell. When you, I want to say, acclimate, when your mind, and to me this is a guarantee, I only say that because I experienced these things myself. For years I was, like this, I saw myself in young Prince Hal. You're gonna get used to it, and if once you get used to it, bro, and it's just like, I always, like, this is what I always do. Like, I always kind of play these games, or like I always watch this stuff, or I always sip this sip, or I always hit the fine chiba. And that's kind of all it is. Besides that, I can barely, it's almost escapism in this way. Because Hal's burying something for sure. 100%. He is. Before I go there, though, what could you be? What could I be? For me personally, what I found out through, being reborn through Jesus Christ and giving myself to God, the revelations, as you really get into the Bible and, you really try and take Dad's hand and walk with him, slowly going through your personal voyage of self-discovery. It's escapism from possibility, from potential, brother, of what could be out there. Whatever is more than what you've already experienced so far. Usually, I believe for modern men, what you continue to experience. Okay, before I move on, this is the kicker, though. This is what's so crazy. I understand, but this is just me. And this has to be said. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this as least weird as possible. But there is never going to be. I know, because they're kind of making these AI, sexy femme robots right now. They're really close. They're really on the way. I feel like I mentioned these things too much. These fembots keep continuing to ambush my episodes on the Pillars of Man. I guess it's unavoidable in this way. When you're talking about the modern male plight. But you and I hope, bro, you do not have one of these androids yet. I'm being so for real, bro. Where did you buy it though? If you do have one, it's just most guys don't. Most guys have screens. Most guys are getting that experience. You know exactly what I'm talking about, brother. Okay, when you go incognito. Okay, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, there's no. I definitely need the incognito tab for this, and I mean that struggle right there is so real. But my point is, it will never compare to that of a living, breathing, okay, beautiful woman that you call your wife. In Hal's scenario, this is definitely a little bit different, because he is getting the full experience because of the nature of the establishment that he continues to visit. But in this way, you and I have one too. Now, it is different. Sensually, in terms of skin on skin contact, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, it's just a baby making vibes. The closest that a modern man could get to that is what he's gonna find on the internet, on a screen. And the crazy thing about that is the accessibility of it, though, and the novelty of it. It's anything and everything you could possibly want, you could possibly think of. 4K slow-mo, okay, you just pulled up, you got 5G, oh brother, multiple tabs, It's bad, man. It's really bad. Okay, the spiritual warfare in this way has never been as potent. Okay, just in terms of sin, it is specifically filtered through lust being waged on any man. But I'm using this though to iterate, to like reveal the grand point. He is the prince of the kingdom. We saw there's no one's gonna keep him from anything. No one wants to die. But you and I argue you and I, this always boggles my mind whenever I rest on this, thinking about the 21st century modern male human experience. Our luxuries are far greater than Hal's today. Like quality of life. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like most likely, okay, and not to sound privileged or ungrateful, once again, I'm just trying to use the average, and I believe, and this, what I'm about to say is a wonderful thing. It's a testament to the progress of humankind thus far, up until 2026. I mean, it's awesome, but but it's awesome, but it also cannot be denied. The truth of the matter is, on average, guys are gonna have bedrooms far more luxurious than any place Hal could ever go to on planet Earth at that time. And he's the prince. His dad owns everything and everyone. And yes, in a very tyrannical sense. I mean, maybe not ownership, but just about. But you know what I mean? Like where could the king not pull up and just have dominion? And because of that connection of lineage, Hal is right there with him. And you and I might not be like this, but when you and I retreat to our humble abodes, then yeah, legally speaking, of course, I definitely have to say that. And you're not harming anyone else, and you're not harming your. That's debatable. That one's debatable of whether you really are harming yourself. But the activities that a man gets up to behind closed doors, it's in this world, brother. Do you agree with me on this? Have at it. Have at it. Watch as much as you want. Eat as much as you want. Drink as much as you want. Consume as much as you want. I don't know why it's like this. When I used to live like this, day 24/7, 365. That is not an exaggeration. 24/7, 365. Besides, and I had a 9 to 5 setup. So besides those 40 hours, goodness gracious, it's just endless. And it's a trap, because if you allow it, it's not really you consuming, it's you being consumed. Men go mad in this way. I did, and Hal did in the movie. For you and me, I believe the answer is God here. The calling that God would raise up one of his sons and have him embark on the greatest adventure of your life. That is, brother, that is self-improvement, self-discovery, and self-actualization. Okay? But just guided by the Lord Almighty, though. For Hal's a little bit different. Okay, I just want to show you once again the effects as we move on now deeper into the film. Same thing, same exact thing happens. And I found it ironic, because Hal wasn't even trying to have it happen like this. Hal, interestingly enough, Prince Henry has some the young king has a fine moral compass within him. So Escapism, as I said, potential, possibility, what could be, what would happen to the current flow of your daily life right now, right? Hal didn't want to have anything to do with his father's business, the business of being a king, of managing and running the country of England. I wouldn't know. I did, you know, I really only ever had to run the business of me. You know, I even hear, I've had buddies, you know, who had kids who tell me, you know, it's like, this is crazy. Is it? It's just one kid right now, where it's like, oh, this is like my second just arrived, and it's already just like, you know what I mean, a lot. It's a lot to, you know, make sure everything is going well. A couple little tiny, you know, human beings, right? Super adorable, mischievous, you know, cries a lot, you know, let alone an entire populace that is looking to you to lead them. Was there some fear here? I think yes. I think yes. Absolutely. Hal's going to be probably put off by the gravity that comes with the hot seat on the throne. You know, as the saying goes, brother. Um, he who wears the crown is heavy-headed. And I was like, I'm good with that way. Not if I don't wear it. I am all set with that kind of life. And he's summoned home. You know, the royal court. His pops is like, I want to see my boy. Get him. And they did. And I didn't think he'd go, but then there wouldn't be you know what I'm saying? There wouldn't be an epic film to watch for the rest of the movie. So Hal does show up very reluctantly. He shows up like the Dark Knight. Okay, this dude shows up super emo style. You know, everything is just really dark. You can't even really see him. I don't know. Interesting visual imagery here. It's almost just showing exactly how he feels inside. You know, like it's very ominous. It's like foreboding, shadowy. I don't want to be here. Okay, I hate this. I hate all of you. I don't want to have anything to do with this. And they don't want to have anything to do with Hal either. His dad goes, I just wanted you to be here so I could tell you your little bro is gonna be king. Because there needs to be I'm getting really sick, as you can see. And someone is going to need to sit here. So, you know, you're my eldest, but he's like, I see how you live. I can smell how you live. So I'm good. We're good, Hal. You're good. It's gonna be your little brother. He will take my throne. Hal is furious. I was surprised. I thought he'd be happy, but he's actually so upset. He looks right at his little brother, and Prince Hal is like, "You don't want this. You don't want, okay, what they get up to, right? Like, what what being a ruler, what kingship, uh, you know, dictatorship, what tyranny. Maybe like it seems Hal is very familiar with the corruptive nature of absolute power. And he loves and he cares about his little brother enough. He didn't want him to have anything to do with it. His little bro was like, excuse me? Okay? This crown is for right here. Okay? Don't get it twisted. That is all me. You know, what do you mean? I don't know what I'm getting into. Okay. We all know what you be getting up to, big bro. And you keep it going. You keep living like you keep doing that. And you know what I'm saying? And they kind of settled on that. I was just like, you know what? I tried. Fine. Bygones be bygones. And he bounced up out of there, only to very quickly return because his little brother is sent immediately to put down a unit that rose out of insurrection. I see. This is so tough, though. This is so tough because it's a family. It's a family that, like all these right, separate families that serve the crown, and the son of the king, or just the father leader of that household family line name, the son. Wow, you remember him? Like young Percy, or Percy, or something like that. Just whew, what a fire in him. What I respected was what a heart of righteousness. You know, he truly is. This is, you can't dispute this, which is actually going to lead to my interpretation. It may be genuinely sad because you see how much he cares about his country. He's a hot-blooded patriot, Percy, and he challenges the King Henry IV, Hal's dad, the current king. Like, why? You're soft, you're old. What are you doing? Who rules like this? You're doing a really poopy job. Okay, one of our very best was captured. Why in the world are we not bringing him back? Right? Like, that's my. Even if you don't look at it like him, I do. He's my brother in arms. What the frick? And the king, right, has been king for a while, and typically answers Percy in a most kingly fashion, like, know your place, watch your tongue, because I can take it out at any moment I choose. And he calls it. I thought that was kind of funny. He calls it. He leaves. He was like, "Is this heard? Is this heard?" You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I forget exactly. He was like, "You will do what I tell you to do." All right, Roger that. And Percy doesn't say anything. He gets up and he storms out. He's furious that the king didn't take what he was saying seriously. The young Percy really just cared so much about his men, about his English brothers, and about England herself. And he goes, he's going to kill me. He's definitely going to betray me. And it's almost as if he came to that decision at the dinner table before he got up and stormed out, because that's exactly what he went to do. He immediately pulled the force together and was just like, right, launched a coup d'etat, okay, to overthrow and seize the king's seat. And so the king's response is to send his youngest, like little bro, out there. I mean, I kind of get it. A dad is with just one of the most important announcements a king could possibly make: the heir to my throne. And that's going to be my my younger son. I need you to prove yourself. I'm going to test you, kind of in the same way God is going to test you and me, if we're brave enough, if we're bold enough to choose Father and then seek his kingdom, which is begin our journey with God. You receive the calling, now you are answering. And you best believe, brother, if you're going to do that, your life is going to change drastically. And did not, the little brother's, his life changed overnight. You know what I mean? He's just this super spirit. To me, you know what I'm saying? Looks like a freaking baby, and he's donning the armor. It's actually kind of funny to watch him. He sat down in it, and it was kind of like super awkward. It's like it was too big and too heavy. Metaphorically speaking, he's just like very clunky. And he sat down. And he's just like, "Okay, I'm here. So how are we gonna do this?" He's like gauging asking his advisors, like, what's the 411 for this battlefield sitch? And he has no idea what he's getting into, though, as with any son that cares about what his father asks of him, he is he's very enthusiastic to prove himself. And that's why he's there, which causes Hal to show up. Fate. Or as a man like me, I'm going to have to believe Father. That's exactly why Hal was even there, was even a part of the situation. Hal pulls up like, I'm not going to let you die because you're most likely going to die. And you're going to die for something stupid. you're going to die for old war games that these gray men play. And so he doesn't even care at all what his little brother was like, bro, like, you're stealing my thunder. You're embarrassing me in front of my new army. Stop. And Hal was just like, no, because I love you and I don't want to see you die for no freaking reason. And he doesn't ask anybody. He doesn't. It's bro, way to pull up like a boss. He doesn't care. Doesn't need anyone's approval. Hal was actually really, really confident in this way. Here's the thing. I believe it was more than confidence. I believe that Hal was so willing to give his life. Yes, for the love of his little brother. But at the same time, he was suicidal. He was on the verge. That's how little he had nothing to lose, is where he was coming from. I really do believe this. It was so evident to me seeing the way that dude, remember when he was in bed and John was like, get up, wake up. It's like, yeah, he's hungover and you know what I mean? He's tired from a night of, intensive activities, right? Fair enough. But to me, he had such an air of spiritual exhaustion. And I had a mentor teach me this. That's what the hedonism game does. You can't. It churns you. It grinds you down. I don't care who you are, what kind of man you are, how strong you are. It doesn't matter. It catches up. And it seems as though for Prince Hal, it had been years. So we meet him in the beginning of this film, The King, where it has caught up. It's been catching up. And so I think he went out there and he was just like, if I die, little bro lives. Great. If I don't die, little bro lives. Great. So it's win-win for Hal. He doesn't really care about anything else. And so he calls out Percy, and then Percy knows exactly what he's been up to. I mean, this man does nothing but drink, and you know what I'm saying? He's a ladies' man. That's all he gets up to. I'm gonna absolutely whop him. Now you see, if I were Percy, I think the same thing. I think any man would, right? Like, no offense, I'm just saying, Hal was not exactly a buff prince. Okay, he's just right, like I don't know, like normal, typical medieval prince sized. And so Percy accepts this challenge, and it's just like he's so ready. He's so ready. as King Henry IV called him, venomous. Rightfully so. He was kind of just like, let me at him. And his dad had the foresight, though, to be like, no, son, stop. Let's just fight this. Let's fight this for real. Like all our boys versus their boys. We got this. And that was actually the final call. But he wouldn't listen. That's the thing. And this is where it gets kind of dangerous. A man can get so caught up in God's calling that he can get to the point he becomes so arrogant that, it's like, oh, like I got it, Dad. I got it from here. Like you gave me the play. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run it. Check this out, pops. But it's really not like that. It's really not like that. Father does not only want you to follow him, he wants to lead you as well. That's why I say living your best life and really doing this journey with God is so important. Okay, it's allowing God to show you slowly over time. It's allowing him to mold you, build you, okay? Chisel you, completely reform you into the man that you are meant to be. And it's very difficult to do that. When a man born out of his own free will and probably the sin of pride as well, that he would try and step in front of God. Okay, really just to be like, can you see me? Can you see me, Dad? I got this. But I think when it really comes down to it, you and I don't. We don't even want it. But if we're gonna have it, okay, which that call to adventure is necessary for any man who wants his best life. If you want to take life and you want to take yourself seriously, you are going to go. I'm telling you, brother, this adventure will happen for you personally. And I think when you're in the thick of it, when you're really experiencing it and it's happening to you, yes, bro, yes, you're going to want dad in front of you. Mercy couldn't see that, unfortunately. And they fight. And they fight. And Hal wins. Hal wins brilliantly. See, and I told you, I got sad because I was just like, bro, what if they could have, why did it have to happen like this? If they joined forces instead, you imagine later in the film when poop gets really real, oh my god, that would have been amazing to have Percy, you know what I'm saying, right? It just would have been so. I was just like, man, like, oh, the potential of this dynamic duo. They would have been so sick together. But ideals will not let them see eye to eye. You know what Percy was fighting for. He genuinely believed the royal family had lost sight of what was truly important for the good of England. And so Hal has righteousness, kind of a familial endearment on his side. He's fighting for little bro. That's genuinely that's why he's there. He just doesn't want, like, hey, nope. Am I breathing? Yes. So is anyone going to hurt my little brother? No, not if I have a say. And he does, and he does effectively save him. And it's so crazy too, because word spreads very quickly, especially right in that time period. The young, Mr. Ladies Man, okay, pub rager, just 1v1'd, okay, one of the finest knights in all of England. Is that safe to say for Percy? I believe so. Beat him and solved he literally, right, because it's all about honoring the contract, the agreement. If you say yes, then that's it. There's no tixie backsies. There's no going back on it. So if I win, that's it. You get the rebellion is done. It's over. If I lose, then yeah, you know what I mean? Like, all right, the next stop for you guys is the throne room. So it was over right there. And that's what did it. Hal did not want the crown, nor did he want the throne. He did not want his birthright. In the same exact way that many modern men do not realize that they are sons of God. Wonderfully and fearfully created and born as a son of the light. And you are. I truly believe this, brother. You are, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not. So Hal doesn't want it. Hal wants nothing to do with, like his calling, what he's meant to do, what he needs to do, what he will become. He's only there for, right, because because the kid's got a darn good heart, and that's why he's there. And because he's there, and he did that, that infuriated his little brother, right? So enthusiastic to prove himself that he is worthy to be king. Oh, he was so pissed, and I thought he was gonna cry. It's like, it's great acting. Like I thought he was gonna break out in tears. He was livid, but he was also like, because when you're young, you get so angry, you kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like I did that a lot when I was younger, and he kind of started doing that, and he was so upset that he immediately rushed out to another battle in order to reclaim what he believed to be lost glory. He made a freaking beeline, unbeknownst to Prince Hal. Hal finds out about this, and obviously it's traumatizing. It's after all that, he immediately finds out your little brother is not going to be king anymore because he's gone. He was slain because he actually, shortly after what you did, in putting down the Percy's insurrection, he immediately charged out to another battle, and he got himself killed. He did exactly what I was trying to stop him from doing, and this is why he becomes king. It was born out of suffering. It was born out of misfortune. King Henry V's legacy originated from tragedy. And that's why, for many guys, they might seem confused. And I totally get it. If they're going to hear me yap about the adventure of life and this call to their best experiences and how the great man, the greatness that lies within them, become the best man possible, I totally get that. But the confusion is sometimes it comes from, this mismatch. Christian, son of God, Christian, God-fearing man, son of the light. All of this. And yet, my life is just what? You know what I mean? Like I have a 9 to 5, dude. Like I rent. You know what I mean? I got a rocking a 1-bedroom, you know what I'm saying? I got my Steam library. Okay. I just picked something up on my PS5. I'm loving it right now. Okay, it's like I got a few friends. Me and the boys were kicking on the weekends. Like go catch the game at the bar. Maybe try to talk to a woman. Good Lord, what a challenging endeavor that has become in 2026. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my life. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? This, okay? You and your dramatic interpretation of like the adventure. But that's exactly how we suffer. That's what I'm trying to say, man. That's how we suffer nowadays, bro. Because you are meant for so much more. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, especially spiritually speaking, there is so much more to you. The depths of you, bro. It's crazy. I mean, when you really push it, though, when you like try to take your health seriously and you try to take your mentality seriously, and you are willing to step into that horrifying part of your soul that contains all the PTSD and the trauma and the pain and the suffering that you do not talk about with anyone because you don't even believe anyone would listen. This is stuff that you don't want to talk about, right? But if you knew Father would help you with all of that sludge, with all of that darkness, with all of that evil that plagues you, because things beyond your control happen to you in ways that they never should have. When that is healed, when that is unpacked and processed, bro, what that unlocks, the man you become from that. It's absolutely wild. And you can. It's like there's nothing stopping you from doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like therapy is all over the place nowadays. You don't even have to go anymore. Am I right? Am I correct? You can just sign it up right here. You know what I mean, brother? It's just like internet, like your therapist will freaking text you or something. I don't know, something like that. Bro, the necessary, the dire necessity of making sure you are as healthy as possible, that unlocks a whole different version of you. And to do that in the best way possible is to do it with God. This is exactly, very reluctantly, with all the hesitation, but this is actually what happens to Hal. Is how he takes the throne, and when he takes the throne, that's when it gets very, very real. Okay, that's when this film really embodies its title. Oh my God. He just starts running the place as he should. But he told everyone, "You're going to suffer me," he said. I was like, okay, very interesting choice of wording, Prince Hal. You're going to suffer me because I am not my father. I am my own king, and you will all see soon enough exactly what that entails. And we see very, very soon after that. Oh my God, man. The way he does policy, diplomacy, right? Commerce. He's listening to his advisors, and there's this one advisor who, he's a rambler. That's what I'm saying. Like, dang, dude, like I rambled too. So like I feel that. An old timer is rambling. He's rambling Hal's air off, and Hal can barely stay awake. And he stops him. It was a great, great scene. He's just like, dude, what are you trying to tell me? And he's just like, that's the royal order. Like, isn't that nature of his job as an orator, is to be able to speak well? It's just like, some things can't be helped. A lot of these men were previously appointed by, right, his old man who passed. He passed because of the illness, which actually, a very bitter end with that too. Good Lord, how does this really, like, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't really have really good family relations, dude. Pulls the blanket off his dad to be like, you feel that cold because he's so pissed at the order he gave, which is what the way Hal sees it, which is what got his little brother killed. It's tough, man. It's so tough, but that's how England gets King Henry V. And good Lord, was he born to do it? It's just the way that he leads his men, the way that he inspires his men. That speech, bro, that speech was so angry, so epic. It's the space between. Fight for that space. That space is England. That is England. Oh, I was in my seat, like, okay, I'm ready, Timothée Chalamet. Okay, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Let's do this. It's just really, oh my God, just really, really good stuff. Like, tactically speaking, he was in over his head. He could really only vent to his best friend, pretty much, John Falstaff, who knew him from way back in the day, who knew him when he was just the partying prince. And it's him that he breaks it to. I don't know who I can trust. I don't know who's with me, who's not with me. Okay? I can't tell between snakes and saints. Who is who? It's driving me freaking crazy. And at the very same time, I'm trying to make sure I do a good job at this whole leading England thing. And John's, oh man, Mr. Falstaff, a very interesting character. He's very grounding for Hal, and you need that. You need that in life. You need a guy like that, straight up. and this is why brotherhood and camaraderie is so real. Community is so necessary in this way. Yes, yes, it is. I'm always preaching about how important it is to foster that personal walk of faith with Father. But there's a whole different tier of magnitude of doing it with, people who understand you because they understand your love of God. And to do it together, that is really something. That's something really special right there. The older I get, and with each new day that Father continues to wake me up to, the more I realize the value in Christian community, or just male community in general, brotherhood. I mean, and this is just one and one. You just got two like-minded fellows right here, and the power of that changes the tide of the war. It was John who sat there and came up with the idea of, my knee hurts and it always hurts when it's about to rain. I immediately thought of my grandma. I was like, there's no way. This is the most grandma thing, dude. My grandma used to get these headaches, these pains, like migraines or whatnot, right before it rained. That's how she knew. And it would always rain. It was good. I was like, when I was a little kid, I was like, yo, grandma's got some superpowers. This is nuts. It's like fail proof. You know what I mean? It's like just every single time. It's like, how is this possible? I don't know. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like these are grandma powers reserved for grandmas. I don't know. And John had his version of it. Rain is on the way, so we'll use the mud, he said. That will be to our advantage in order to outplay the French prince, who, oh my God, what a freaking giant butthole this guy was. Holy, pulls up in the middle of the night. Okay, it's like, you couldn't do this when I was having coffee. You're going to do this. Like right as I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, slipping into REM, this freaking guy. On purpose, for sure, on purpose. And he gets there, and it's just like this, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his very best to attack Hal's identity, it seems. Right? Talking about, oh, you rookie, you're in out of your depths. What do you think you're doing? Right? He goes right for his manhood. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's like, yeah, nice, classic right there. And the composure. That composure was fire. You need that in life. When you're living your best life, oh my God, bro, do you need to have this kind of steel stalwart sense of composure where things are going wrong? Things are looking pretty grim right now. You got all these people that are kind of looking at you sideways like, wow, interesting decision last night. Tell me more. And it's just, yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So you need to be able to, right, kind of stem those tides of opinion. And he was getting such a toxic one from the French prince. And I love the way Hal handled it. I was expecting, okay, here we go. Another epic Timothée Chalamet. Oh my God, I'm just going to say his first name. Monologue is on the way. He doesn't say anything. He was like, nope. he said, riveting speech. I'll see you on the battlefield. For me, I was like, yo, that's cold. That's icy. That I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I was taking notes, brother. I was like, yo, that is an excellent pointer for any guy to try and attempt himself. Okay. Might go a little bit weird if you're trying to do a dramatic rendition of King Henry V, you know what I'm saying, in a modern day setting. But hey, bro, I'm just saying, you're still going to want to play that cool, calm, collected though, and he did that perfectly. Where he should have lost it right? That's the bait, right? I'm trying to draw out your temper. I'm trying to draw out your temper. Hal gave him composure, and John was the one who gave him the fitting response. I love it. I love John's yawn was perfect. It was just such a creative and simple way to counter every colorful remark that the French prince made in his speech. That yawn to me was, you can talk all you want. You can talk all you want. You're just going to talk us all to death. We'll see. We'll see when words don't matter anymore and our swords are drawn. We'll see who stands and who falls. That's what I got from the yawn. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff in life. God preaches in such a pristine sense. It's just the quality of it is so high. It's so elevated, I've noticed in Father's Kingdom, but that of humility. And you really need that. That was honestly kind of the what was the undoing of the French Prince. Oh Lord. And the rest of this film is really just the battles and the struggle and really actually being in the mud. I'm just going to use that right there. I could go into the mechanics of the fight. I'd rather you just watch it, or if you did see it, then there you go, bro. It was really well done. The killing, the maiming, the impaling, the dismembering, and the death. Not so much. But the courage. The brotherhood, right? Literally fighting for king and for country. Fighting for their home country, fighting for home, everything that England means to each of the soldiers together in the mud. And I mean, that's what it's all about, bro. I want you to see the contrast right here, because that's I always talk about this medium of exchange. There's no way for you to get something, it's just really hard for you to get something new unless you let go of what you already have. You holding on to both, I genuinely believe does not work, because I tried to hold on to both for way too long. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. It's one or the other. And bruh, it's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go with God and you're gonna go for your best life. Absolutely, that's gonna be the best one for you. The best decision you could ever make. 100%. But it's gonna cost you. And it costs you the old you and your old life. That is what must enter, right? This chamber of transformation, so to speak, which is just the whole walk and journey with God. And that's what Hal goes through. Hal traded the brothel and the pub and the tavern, the dancing, the drinking, the medieval and Jill, for that, to lead his kinsmen to victory on multiple battlefields, outnumbered, at times I believe outflanked, just outmaneuvered, out of his depth. But he pulls it off. Right? Because he's willing to make those tough calls, those really, really hard calls that none of us, most guys, how about I step away from most guys right here and I step into just me for this one? Because I didn't. I kind of still don't want to deal with the very difficult decisions that comes with, how am I going to do this? What's the move here? Okay. Playing chess, with Satan just doesn't really work out for a mortal man. How do you move? And you need God to guide the pieces. No, I'm sorry, to guide your hand, of which piece to even pick up and put somewhere else. That's what you need, bro. It makes all the difference. It will save your life. This whole living your best life thing with Father. Oh, good Lord. And how is led to something that is one of my favorite parts of the film. What is not one of my favorite parts of this film? I really do love it, but I love how they ended with this. And I am also to believe. So here's this is pretty sweet. This is pretty sweet. I try not to think about this part really anymore nowadays because it's distracting me. It's making what's most important less important, which cannot be. It's making what's most important that much more difficult to focus on, which is seeking Father and His kingdom. Like, right? It's Pops. This is it is. It is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so much less about you and it's so much more about Pops. Because it's with Dad, you get to do your best in the best way. So seeking God and His kingdom. And so after that though, I am to believe this is what my coach taught me. He goes, look, you struggling. It's, oh Lord, you were such a struggler. You know what I'm saying? I looked at my coach. I was just like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon. I really do. I really do struggle a lot. And he was like, that's fine. That's fine. But struggle for seeking the kingdom, though. If you're going to struggle with anything, struggle in striving to go higher. Okay? For everything that God stands for, that God is. Because doing that is what gives you all the lessons that you really are looking for. And if you remember how I started tonight off, I said it's mutual. Okay? It's almost a union, so to speak. Father, being the All-Father, is calling you into sonship with Him. And I think when God sees a true heart pursuing Him in His kingdom, Father is elated. He is overjoyed to help you out with what you really are looking for. And now this is really just me, but I believe any man is going to be looking for the love of his life. That is such an important aspect to life. A lot of us are shouldering that weight without saying a word. Strong men. But it should not be indefinite, though. It shouldn't be forever. I mean, that is a bitter life. To not know the woman that is meant for you, brother. And that's why I love it. At the very end of all of this, after everything that Hal has been through, you see, the Catherine of I forget her title, but the French princess is to be his wife, Al's wife. I don't know who this actress is. She's fine, and it's almost, this is inevitable. You're going to run into the one that's meant for you, your queen as king, taking your place, your throne under the King of Kings, right? And obviously that's going to be what? That's going to be family. That's going to be love, family, right? You got little mini princes and princesses popping up all over the place. And that's what it's all about. And just, I love how they did the character. I don't know if she was really like this historically speaking. I would not be surprised. It's freaking, it's fire is what it is. And she checks him. she checks him so hard. My man, you remember Hal sits down. He's kind of just like, I'm the king, and it's going to be English from here on out. I can speak French, but you're not going to speak French because you're my wife. So it will be English, for I am a English king. And the young queen is like, I don't see how this is going to work then. And then she does it in English to be like, you don't even know me like that. How about you take the time to know me? And like this could be a little bit smoother for your kingship. She checks him, bro, so hard. And the marking of a real man right here. Hal, right? Back in that day, okay? Hal doesn't he doesn't get childish, he doesn't get rude, he doesn't get violent, he doesn't do anything like that. Hal impressed. I was sitting there like, well played, Queen Catherine. And I believe like the character, oh, I shouldn't even call him Prince Hal. King Henry V is, I believe, as equally impressed as I am in the audience. And he says, "Hey, okay, you know what? All right, from here on out, you're mine, and I'm yours. And for that to work, I need one thing from you: be my wife, and as my wife, be clear and true." That's dope. That is, when it's who you choose to marry and she says yes. And you don't, I believe when a man is genuinely interested in his greatest self, you don't want a woman that is just going to acquiesce to everything. It's not that women should not respect their husbands and take the time to understand where he is coming from in making the decisions that are going to lead the entire family in a certain direction, that are going to lead the business, the relationship in a certain direction. But at the same time, wherever it can be improved, wherever it's going wrong, wherever he's being a dumb kid, the queen should be able to catch that. Be like, no, you're a better king like this. Clear and true. Wow, man. He never wanted it. He hated it. I want nothing to do with this. I'm good. I'm good with my dad's stuff. I don't need any of this, okay? Just give me my allowance and let me go do my thing. And then he ends up just becoming this, at least Timothy's portrayal in this film. Wow. What a great king. But see, I don't want you to just watch this film and, enjoy it, right? Dramatically and theatrically. And like in that way, I'm right there with you, brother. But you're Henry. Make no mistake, you're Henry. In this film, it's the same thing. It's just your father isn't mortal and he didn't pass. No, he's there. He's there right now. He's waiting for you. Should you choose to seek him, repent to him, and then go with him. What happens after that, I cannot say. I don't believe any man can. No, brother, it should be lived. It should be experienced by you because it's for you. Just like, even though Hal didn't want it, what he would experience is just for him. It needed a man like that. It needed a new king. England needed a new king like that to make the decisions that he did, to trust, one of his very close brothers who didn't make it all the way. It's almost symbolic in this way because John represented the old Henry, the old Hal. That can't live. That cannot be. He cannot be anymore. he must pass as well. So that King Henry V can be born, a great king, a king to be revered and celebrated by his people because he would do right by them. That's rare in a leader. You look at the world leaders of today, the debates are endless. Pick anyone you want, bro. Is he or she truly for the people she claims or he claims to be about? I had no doubt in my heart at all seeing King Henry V in the way that he conducted himself throughout the entire film. That transformation right there is so brilliant. This is one of the best films any guy could watch where you're going to see a boy grow into the man he's meant to be, specifically, uniquely in the image created by God. It was so epic, so fantastic. The way they did this is absolutely phenomenal. Really very well done by this director. Brilliant performances by Timothy and Joel Edgerton and the rest of that cast. And brother, I be here. This is what I do. I'm gonna keep on talking about this stuff, but the takeaway for you is this film is just it's such a wonderful depiction of what happens when just any man 18 and up, he's just really going to start taking it seriously. But you don't just do that though. You don't just flip that switch. You flip it with Father. Like with God. That this, as I said, this union of Father and Son is it's just such the most incredible thing you could ever experience as a man. And that's going to lead to your wildest imaginations, to be quite frank. Give God that chance. Give God that chance, bro. And if you listen to me, talk about all of that, and you haven't seen this film, The King, oh my God, watch this movie. It's so good. Like you got a special somebody. You know what I'm saying? The GF, the wifey. Watch her be like, oh, I'm Catherine. I'm so Catherine. Check it out, brother. It's such a good one. Okay, it's gonna have the stamp of approval from the Pillars of Man podcast. All right, because that's what I do here. I talk about God, movies, anime to help you with your life. And you like content like that, you hit the subscribe button for me. You listen on Spotify, brother? You can follow me on there. Wherever you find this, shoot me a follow. I'd love to catch you for the next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.